Hi, this is Mr. Scott, and I'm going to walk you through how to do equal amounts of different substances. So you got the lab sheet here. The lab sheet, I believe that's page 58 in your lab manual. You'll see you're going to have equal amounts of different substances. So today, instead of getting the same amount of water, hot and cold water, you're going to use a piece of metal here today, and you're going to try to get the same amount of cold water. So you're going to heat up that metal. So let me show you how you do it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to turn on your balance and get a mass for the metal. You're going to go ahead and put that metal on there. And you're going to record that 147.2. Alright, so get this metal, and then you're going to take that piece of metal, and you should probably put your safety goggles on. Alright. Once you put your safety goggles on, then you're going to come on over here to the lab. You're going to carefully drop your metal in and let it heat up for a couple of minutes. As you let that heat up for a couple of minutes, you can work on a few things. You're going to get the same amount of cold water. So you've got a graduated cylinder here, or you can use that scale again to help you out. So what I mean by that is you can put that beaker on the scale with the styrofoam cup. You can see that here, and you're going to hit the 0 button, so that way it's not going to factor it in. And now you can go to the sink right here next to you, and you can fill up, and you can just keep adding water to try to get to that same mass that was your metal. Alright, so I'm going to get close here. I think it, and you can go back in this video, but I think we were at 147.2. So if you overshoot it like that, that's fine. You can go ahead, turn off the water, and then to get equal amounts, you can use this pipette here and just go into the styrofoam cup and just take out some and keep squirting it into the sink until you get it to exactly 147. So I'm at 148, 147. And I'll put a couple more drops in. Now, don't quote me on this, but you might have to go back and look at the video. But I thought that's what we had for the mass of the metal. But it's heating up now, so I can't go back and check. So you want to get it pretty much the same mass. So now, what I'm going to do here on my lab report here is I'm going to put the mass. So I thought the mass of the water was 147.2 grams. And I'm hoping my metal was the same at 147.2 grams. Okay. Now, one thing that I want to try out is I'm going to try out some of the new technology. So I want to show you what that looks like. I've got 2 wireless temperature probes, and I've got a LabQuest. So I'm going to try to show you how to get that set up. First thing you do is grab the LabQuest, and you're going to plug in the power adapter that goes into the LabQuest. So plug in this guy here. The power button's on top of the LabQuest. You're going to hit the power button, and hopefully it turns on. That would be great. There's also a stylus, so you can pull the stylus out. So you can use that. That's the little stylus. And apparently this one's having a little bit of trouble turning on here. Let's see. Alright, we'll let that boot. Alright, so now that it's finally loaded, I'm going to go ahead and hit, it says, would you like to open this file? I think I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. And then when I hit cancel, I want to show you a couple things. I want you to go to sensors. So you're going to click on sensors. And then there's this Go Wireless. You want to choose Go Wireless. And I'm hoping to pick up these wireless temperature probes. The problem is it's picking up all the wireless temperature probes in the room. So in order to see, I want this 6B. So I'm looking for that one in particular. So now I've found the 6B. So I'm going to click OK, and hopefully the temperature of this one pops up. Just to make sure it's that one, I can hold it, and it should get warmer. And you can see the temperature is getting warmer. That's perfect. Now I want to go to sensors and do the same one with the next wireless sensor. So I'm now looking for wireless sensor 7A. So I'm going to scroll around here till I find 7A. And yikes. 7A. Let me see if it's... You know what? If it's not charged, it won't show up. So I'm gonna go charge it, and maybe, oh, there it is, 7.8. So I'm gonna click on that one and hit OK. And now I've got my two, hopefully the other temperature, yeah, there we go. I've got my two temperature probes here. So now, a couple little things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and get that beaker of water that I had there. I'm gonna take my temperature probe, and I'm looking for the 7A one, so because I want that to be blue because that's the cold water. And I'm gonna put the 7A temperature probe inside my cold water so that it's now measuring the temperature of that. Okay. Now I'm ready to, while I'm waiting for that to calibrate, I'm gonna take my 6B temperature probe right over here, and I'm gonna, with my goggles on, I'm gonna come on over to the hot pot where my metal is cooking, and I'm gonna have that in there. Now, I'm not gonna touch it to the metal, I'm just gonna let it hover. Carefully let it hover, and see where that's at, okay? While that's hovering there, I'm gonna let that set and just make sure that I'm getting the right reading from my LabQuest. And it looks like as soon as that stops moving, I'll be ready to hit the play button. Okay, so it's still heating up, still heating up. Alright, looks like it's about 85.1, so it's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that play button. And now it's giving me a beautiful graph of my temperature, my cold and my hot temperature. So while it's doing that, I'm going to set that down, grab my beaker of cold water, and now come on over to the pot. So I've got my hot water and my cold water. Hold on, I'm going to grab it. Now with a set of tongs, I'm going to reach in, get my piece of metal. Alright, carefully and quickly put it into the cup, and now I'm going to stir. Alright, so I'm going to stir with my temperature probes. Come on back here, keep stirring my two temperature probes, and you'll see that the graph is now showing. Well, let me tilt it so you all can see that. I'm going to keep stirring. Now you can see that the temperature's finally reached, or getting close to an equilibrium temperature where the water and the metal are the same. And a couple things to note on this graph: once they finally reach the same temperature, which is 28.6, go ahead and hit the stop button. Alright, I can do that with the stylus here. And now I've got a beautiful graph. A couple things you can do: you can click on the beginning temperature up there, and it says 85.6. So now I'm going to go back to my lab report, and the metal, the initial temperature of the metal was 85.6 degrees Celsius. So then I can do the same with the cold. You can see it was 22.9 when it started. So I'm going to put that for the temperature initial of the cold water. So that was 22.9 degrees Celsius. And then I made a mistake here. I put it in the final temperature spot. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that. That goes 85.6 here. Now, if we go back to the graph, one last thing I'll show you is it'll finally show you the temperature with which they met, which looks like right there 28.6 or 28.5, and that's going to go as the final temperature for both of them. So 28.5 and 28.5. Okay, and so now you've got all the data you need for your teacher to show you the calculations. For the graph, you can see that for equal amounts, even though it was equal amounts, because I had different substances, the final temperature didn't meet right in the middle. In order to get this graph on your iPad, once again, you're going to hit the home button that's right over here, okay? Or you can use the stylus and hit the home button right there. You're going to choose connections, and then you're going to scan that QR code using graphical analysis. All right, that's on the lab how to do equal amount of different substances.